Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're all here. Today's video we are going to be doing another pick a card, and we're looking at what is coming in for you during the last quarter of this year. So basically from now until the end of the year, what is coming in for you, what can you maybe look forward to, or what do you just need to... I kind of set the intention very general, so a warning here, the messages may not necessarily be like overwhelmingly positive things, because I didn't necessarily look at just positive things for you guys. But yeah, just kind of set the intention of what you guys need to know about what is coming in for you. So some things may still be kept hidden. This is just what spirit, universe, whatever you connect to wants to make you aware of, or maybe make you look forward to. Hopefully there'll be positive messages in here. That is my hope for this, but whatever will be, will be. Yeah. Let me go ahead and show you the options that I have for you today. So here are the options that I have for you today. I will give you a close-up of each of the piles, or the crystals I should say, and then that will hopefully help you to choose which one you feel most drawn to. So starting off over here with option number 1, we have blue Howlite. Next up with option number 2, we have Amethyst. And for option number 3, we have Citrine. And last but not least, we have for option number 4, Aragonite. And I know I've been using this crystal quite a lot in my readings, but I always just feel drawn to it. So clearly a lot of the collective that I connect to really needs Aragonite in their life. So this is option number 4. So here's another view of all of the crystals and options that we have today. And I will see you all at your reading. Before we begin, please do remember this is a general reading, so only take what resonates and leave the rest behind, because you are not the ugly stepsister. Please do not force that shoe onto your foot. Hi there, option number 1. I just want to go back. Okay. Hi there, option number 1. Welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose the blue Howlite crystal here, welcome. Hi, hello. I don't know why I'm so... Ooh. I feel so excited about this reading. As usual, I'm going to start off with my tarot cards because that's what we like to do here. I am using the vice versa tarot deck, which I used to use back like probably last year, and then I accidentally spilt water on it, so they've been out of action until literally this reading right now. But I just started shuffling them and they just give me such great energy, and I've really missed being able to use this deck. So yeah, I don't know why I wanted to share that with you guys, but I feel great about this right now. Maybe you guys are just having some great energy around you in general. I just feel very light, very happy. I've already pulled your cards if you hadn't noticed. Just like to do that to kind of get into it, because shuffling does take a little bit of time. And then we'll shuffle the clarifying cards together on camera. Oh, so mixture of energies here, of atmospheres, shall we say. So first of all, you guys have the 2 of Cups. This was the first thing that came out for you guys. It's funny because I keep saying I feel like this kind of sunniness here, and this version of the 2 of Cups has this really bright sunny day. It's gonna be a bright bright sunshine day. So I definitely feel like you guys could be forming a really strong connection with someone. I almost see like these two people on this card just staring so intensely into each other's eyes that they don't even, the cup isn't even an issue, if that makes sense. Like, let me see how I can describe this to you guys. It's like nothing else matters in the world. Nothing else matters. Almost like sometimes when you get into connections and you're so filled with anxieties, and maybe like your shadow hasn't really been dealt with, and you can't really let yourself go in that connection, or you can't really be your most authentic or vulnerable self with that person. This doesn't feel like this here. This feels like the opposite of that, where you kind of, everything else goes out the window for both of you, and you just can both hold the energy or the space for each other to be that best version of yourself, to be the most authentic and vulnerable version of yourself. So that's really nice. So it's definitely a spiritual connection that you guys have. So this will probably be someone who you feel very strongly pulled towards. They may have already come into your life, and this may be something that's blossoming as we are already into like the first month of the last quarter of the year. So I'm doing this reading a little bit later than I would have liked to, but nonetheless, we've got about 3 months, 3 solid months left until the end of the year. Sorry, itchy nose. Sometimes I do get an itchy nose when I'm like channeling messages, like particular piles. I'm like almost like trapped in this energy. So you guys might find yourself being, again, it's like nothing else matters. Maybe if you're someone who's very career driven, or you're someone who doesn't even really feel that type of way in relationships usually, it's like this relationship is going to be very different for you. This connection is going to be very different for you, and it doesn't have to necessarily be romantic, because I don't only feel romance here. It could be like a really strong friendship connection that you kind of just want to spend like all your time together. Again, this Ace of Pentacles is actually giving me quite social energy. Like, I feel like this is a businessman, woman, who is got like their great idea, they've got their game plan, and now they're going to go out and find like the connections that they need to make this vision of theirs come to life. Yeah, it's like this almost feels like what I'm saying, like a businessman or like a salesperson in a way. Not that you have to be a salesperson or anything like that. You might just have a product, or maybe something that could potentially bring some kind of financial gain, and maybe it's still in its beginning phases. You've kind of created the foundation, which might even just be like the idea, and now you're in an energy where it's time to build or invite people to build along with you. So you might find yourself in this last quarter of the year really discussing your business plans with people, discussing your ideas with people, finding connections or collaborations that with like-minded people. Yeah, and then we have the Knight of Wands here. Again, very light energy. Yeah, there is like a confidence to you and a uniqueness to you, but it's like if you're someone who knows they're different, knows you are unique, it's like you're really honing in on that, you're really amplifying that, like lifting, how am I trying to say this, you're uplifting that rather than like it being something that you're ashamed of or something that you don't want to share with people. It's like you are acknowledging your uniqueness and you're using that as a strength. Sorry about the noise from upstairs, but I do see though, whilst there is a lot of fire within you, you might be feeling kind of tired of this. Because you might, again, if this is coming down to maybe an idea or something like that, you might be like going and then feeling very drained at the same time. So it's almost trying to balance this passion and fire within you with the energy that you actually have to execute all these ideas and plans that you have right now. Yeah, it's like the soul almost is ready to go. Like the soul is, but the body, the human form is very much like, okay, I get that we are ready to go, I get that we're full of life right now, but I still need to eat, I still need to sleep, I still need to like rest. It's like the body, the thing that actually allows you to do the things that you're trying to do or want to do is like, I need some time to catch up to my mind or my soul, if that makes sense. Like if you're feeling very much like you're following the soul's mission, it's like your soul has been activated but the body's still trying to catch up with that. So you might be feeling a little bit tired, a little bit more like your body is sometimes being dragged along, but I think overall you're going to be feeling very confident and line changing, but feeling very confident and passionate about where you're going. Again, for this world card, I even see it as you showing the world. It's a bit like this, like you're going out and showing people who you are. The way she has her back, to me this looks like someone who is exposing themselves to the world. This might even be you on a public platform where you are expressing yourself in some way. Maybe you have a YouTube channel, maybe you have some social media that you're trying to execute. So, and then you still have the flames here, the fire, and you see this red flame just glowing. A constant glow, a constant passion and energy to execute this plan of yours. So there's definitely a message about cycles here. I'm not quite understanding it 100% yet. There's a message about cycles. Maybe that will come up. We'll see. Okay, now we shift into a little bit of different energy, but still overly, I mean, still in general quite positive, maybe quite, it shows you kind of shifting again. I think it is this shift of confidence, this acknowledgement of the things that maybe you weren't so proud of in the past. For example, your expression, your self-expression, or things that made you appear weird or different from other people. It's like you're really healing those wounds now, and again you are blossoming something, you're growing something out of any kind of pain or hurt that you have experienced in your life. You see this Three of Swords here, how he is kind of observing all of these swords that have been put into, have caused him pain, but behind that is a flower growing in this rain, in this storm that we all get caught up in, but for him there is something blooming here. Yeah, so actually I'm brought back to the cyclical message, the cycle message of like this cycle of kind of pain, hurt, and possibly even the intense kind of healing, shadow work, the dark night of the soul stuff, like that really, really dark stuff that you've had to go through. That cycle is completing itself. It's transitioning now. It's replenishing. It's almost like I can see it just going back in itself and kind of changing energy. The energy has been shifted. We're in right now, as I'm filming this, a Mercury retrograde, and I remember someone saying that Mercury retrograde is basically like a cycle. If you start something in Mercury retrograde, you have to end it in Mercury retrograde. And say if like you get broken up with the Mercury retrograde, anything like that, like anything that happens in this time, it kind of like turns into a cycle in your life where you have to deal with that lesson or that experience, emotion, whatever it may be, until it has been completed. So I do feel that sense here as well. It's like something had to be completed, but now that it has, a new cycle can form, because life is just a cycle at the end of the day. Like everything has a beginning and an end, you know, and then it just transforms into something new. And that's what I feel like it is. It's not like there's an end of anything or a final obvious conclusion, but you can just feel this energy shifting and it transforming. So we have the Seven of Swords here now. Again, for me, this is giving me the feeling of someone taking what they can from their experience. For example, he's got all these swords, but he can't carry all of them. Some of them have to be left behind. It's like taking the lessons, taking the wisdoms, taking the things that may have caused you pain, but also moving on, moving forwards with this. I'm going to get clarified for that. Well, I'll get clarified for everything, but just to see how this message is actually, because I feel like there's something else here that this is representing as well. And then we also come to the Page of Cups here, which again is very much that creativity, that connection to your emotions, your true passions, and being authentically yourself, being kind of stepping back into that childlike energy where you feel like you don't have the pressures of the external world to live up to, or your parents or friends to live up to. Like you feel like you can just be who you are and be very honest in that expression. Some of you guys might be writers as well. Maybe you're into poetry or something like that, because I just heard poet. And also feeling very connected to water, or like the sea, any kind of body of water as well. You might be feeling very drawn to that. But I see you very much tapping into that feminine energy of emotional expression, whether that's in writing, your arts, just journaling in general, or communicating that to someone. However you feel, however that comes out for you. But I do see you being able to connect to that area. And I think as well, it's going to help you produce content or produce things, work, projects, whatever they are, that are very authentic to you and have that sense of honesty and authenticity about it. Right, so let's get some clarifiers now. We're gonna use this Lightseer's deck. Right, we have the Eight of Swords come out. I didn't actually call for a card right now, but I'll put it there. Okay, can we clarify the Two of Cups for those using the Howlite crystal, please? So we've got the Seven of Wands. Clarify the Ace of Pentacles, please. Ooh, the Fool card. That is exactly a very similar energy, because aces represent new beginnings, the Fool represents a big new beginning, a leap of faith as well. There's a confidence about you, again, like I keep saying. Right, so can you clarify the Knight of Wands, please? Ooh, that is too many. Why the Knight of Wands is here? Why the Knight of Wands is here, please? Where's the Knight of Wands here? Oh, one. I will actually take that, 'cause I think that already came out, actually. Okay, Okay, go for the wild card, please. It's too many, man. Can't do too many cards, man. Okay, clearly those cards wanted to come out, so sure. I'll bring the 7 of Swords. Clarify the Page of Cups. Okay, one thing I do see here, especially with the 7 of Swords, which is something I kind of felt, but I didn't want to say unless I felt that it was accurate. Anyway, I do feel like there might be a tendency towards the end of this year to kind of guard your heart, particularly because of the wounds that you've been through. Again, while you are taking the lessons that you've learned and stuff like that, sometimes it's hard to kind of shift the pain that came from that and learn not to carry the pain with you, as well as and solely carry the lessons or the wisdom with you to kind of, yeah, as you enter new phases of your life or new experiences. Sometimes it is, when we carry like the pain or the hurt with us, it is hard to feel vulnerable with people. But again, I do feel like there is someone you're going to be vulnerable with, but maybe it's just going to take you a time to get to that point, because you do have the 7 of Wands here, which for me is kind of someone who is protecting themselves, again protecting themselves from external potential external opinions or voices or things that they feel like might disrupt their peace. You also might feel very much like keeping this connection quiet or separate from maybe other friends or family members. So practicing patience might be something that you struggle with towards the end of this year, with the Strength card reversed and the Knight of Wands. Because this Knight of Wands is ready to go, but I think sometimes, again, your body needs a bit of time to catch up with your mind or your inspiration or passions. So I think it is about finding this right balance here. And you do have Temperance over here in reverse. Finding the right balance between when to go into solitude, when to kind of replenish your energies, remembering to eat, to sleep well, to, you know, really get your body in the right shape to execute your plans to the best of your ability. So I do think that anything is going to hold you back during this last part of the year, it's going to be your thoughts, or it's going to be yourself, basically, self-limitation. So the way that you are perceiving things, or the limitations that you are putting on yourself. Maybe feeling indecisive about certain decisions, maybe feeling overwhelmed by certain things, feeling like you're carrying too much responsibility. Maybe you have a family who you need to take care of, and that's kind of impacting the way that you are making decisions for yourself, and also how you are trying to execute these plans. Okay, I think I'm ready to move on to your oracle cards, actually. Okay, let's start off with the moonologies. So we have full moon eclipse, conclusions are within reach. And we have new moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. So again, with this new moon energy, I feel like with the new moon, you can't actually see the sun. So while something is blooming and something is growing, a bit like this card here, whilst there's something, you can see this blue flower here, whilst there's something blooming and growing, he can't actually see it from his perspective because it's covered by all of these swords, which represent the mind and your mental world. So yeah, again, so while something is blooming and growing, your mind can kind of shift the perception to something that is maybe dead or isn't really forming what you want to form. So again, like I said, what is going to hold you back, if anything, is going to be your perception. So the message here is that luck is on your side, that things are working out in your favor. It's just about you actually truly believing that with Sagittarius here, which is about our belief systems. So you truly believing that, and also you, even through the kind of difficult or the down days that you have, trying to shift your perception of things. So this is a really great way to do this. Would be like gratitude lists, affirmations, maybe visualization techniques. Like, I don't mean, obviously toxic positivity is not a good thing, but sometimes when our brain is kind of overwhelming us, like our anxious brain is kind of telling us that like everything's going wrong, this isn't working, you're doing things this wrong, and yada yada yada, like all these kind of negative narratives start building. Sometimes we just need to put a little pin in that and just be like, shift the narrative to something that is more positive. Like, even for example, I'm taking back to this imagery here where your body is kind of feeling tired and not being able to keep up with what you want to do. It's like, rather than being like, which your mind might say, okay, well, I don't have enough, if I don't do this now, it will never get done, or like, how about this? Or like that kind of narrative that's like, I don't have enough time. Then you just kind of shift those narratives and maybe write them down, the negative, and then or what do you write down? The scarcity, which comes down to like a scarcity mindset, saying I'll never get this done, or I don't have enough time, to something that is more abundance mindset of like, I have all the time in the world, or when my body is replenished, I'll be able to complete this to the best of my abilities, you know. And then also conclusions are within reach. Again, that cycle concluding, that painful experiences, those things that have kind of maybe you felt been holding you back from really stepping into your power, are within reach. Again, this imagery is kind of hidden behind these trees here. And whilst this eclipse is looming, whilst this eclipse is big and illuminating, it's still hidden away in a way. So and there is a need to tap into your emotional realm in order to keep the balance within yourself. And also shift that mindset of like, things are coming to an end, anything difficult is coming to an end, and that with endings there is always going to be a new beginning, and trusting that new beginning will be positive for you. Okay, we also do have here Treasure Island. So this is the Treasure Island card. Again, we have water imagery here. So I think emotions are going to be a really big thing for you, kind of keeping your head above water in terms of not allowing yourself to become too emotionally overwhelmed, which I know is easier said than done, but putting in the kind of coping mechanisms, or the kind of mechanisms in place to stop you from being submerged too heavily in the water. But I'm going to read it from the book as well, because I don't really get this card. Right, this makes a bunch of sense. So the essential meanings for this card are the law of attraction bringing dreams into fruition, the results of positive thinking made manifest, abundance appearing as if from nowhere, financial gains, and the sharing of good fortune. So funny enough, I'm being drawn to this relationship message, which says, your relationship is a treasure providing even more than you need, but you may not see that right now. No matter how long you've been together, you and your partner are always discovering hidden gems about yourself and each other. Now is a time of discovery. It's as if everything is in sync and everything is new again. Romance blooms and love is in the air. You can be assured that this partnership will bring you great gifts and valuable lessons. Keep your heart open. The message of this card is to celebrate love and what it teaches you. Yes. Okay, so yeah, everything is in sync. I definitely feel that everything is new again. Again, there's this newness coming towards you guys. And I think it wanted me to read this relationship message because there is a potential relationship coming or connection coming in for you guys. And where I said you might feel a little bit like shutting off your emotions, or it's going to take you a little while to maybe open up to this person. It's just to reassure yourself that, or reassure you that this person is someone you can be vulnerable with, or at least being vulnerable with this person will provide you with the lessons that you need to learn and provide you with the experience that you need at this time in your life. So let's go to these romance oracle cards. Again, we've got keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. I think this in general just means keep an open mind about what you are experiencing, and not shutting yourself off to people, things, or experiences. Repetition here, but not shutting yourself off to anything. Again, mind being very important here. It's all about your mental state. So if you haven't been working on that up till now, and this reading's kind of like just coming to you, whatever, if your mind is not something that you have been working on, then I would say like start focusing on how to get your mind in a place that is peaceful the majority of the time. Again, I know it's a lot easier said than done. I 100% acknowledge that, and also not ignoring any kind of like mental health issues or any hormonal issues or stuff like that. But I think even then, if you kind of suspect that maybe those type of things are affecting you, then finding the help, the professional things, whatever you feels right for you, that you need to be able to get to a place where your mind doesn't affect you as much, or at least isn't controlling you. So we also have children here. Your love life is being affected by children. Don't necessarily mean that you have children or anything like this, but again, I do see you tapping into this childlike energy, this newness, seeing the world from a new perspective, feeling renewed and feeling like you can kind of again tap into that authenticity within you without judgment, or you just don't really care about judgment. And then last but not least for you guys, we do have a guidance message for navigating the last part of this year. So let's see what we got. So we have, you are destined for greatness on the wings of love. Again, doesn't have to necessarily mean your love life, but I think it is again just that reassurance, like luck is on your side, you're destined for greatness. That again, that overwhelmingly positive message that is coming towards you guys, that your whatever spiritual energies you connect to is really trying to push you through this reading to remain positive, to shift your mindset to something that is abundance based. This card reads, to clarify, the primary roles of love are not to heal, fix or mend, not to soothe, cure or ease, not to refresh, rejuvenate or restore. Hardly. The primary roles of love are to Yahoo, Yahi, Yeehaw and Woohoo. Get your love on. And I think it just really is a message of like, whether it's talking about a potential connection, whether it's talking about your life in general, it's the role of being you, of enjoying life, is to enjoy it, it's to be happy, it's to live within it, it's to experience it, not to have a certain kind of outcome, not to reach a certain goal, but just to enjoy life as it comes and enjoy all the experiences that life has to offer as best as we can. That some of those experiences aren't so fun, But anyway guys, that is the end of your reading. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, if it resonated with you. Yeah, let me know if you want to see anything in particular from me, because I will try my best to do that, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye. Highlight option number 2, those of you who chose the Amethyst crystal here, welcome to your reading. So as usual, we're going to start off with the tarot cards. So I have already pulled the cards for you, and we will pull the, what are they called? The clarifying cards together in a bit. So looking at what is coming in for you guys the last quarter of this year. That's what I feel like you might be going through a lot, maybe in private, whether that's just because your circumstances are calling for it, or maybe you feel like you just isn't something you want to share with people. I do feel very much guardedness from you. There's a lot of guarded energy here. For example, how can I just tell you this, guys? So, for example, this Queen of Pentacles is like got their back to me. We've got the Queen of Swords, which can be quite a guarded person. She's not really open to at least emotional expressions. We've got this Five of Pentacles with his head down. Sorry. And there we go, Five of Pentacles with the head down. And then even when we do have the King of Cups here, he's got this whole armor on. Although they've got this armor on, meaning I can't really get to them. Like, they're just expressing to people what they want to express in a way. Like, they're being very strategic about what they're sharing with people or with others, even with me. Me? I'm joking. Even this card here, when you have the little thing down here, it's like a little prickly nest. I remember that being one of the descriptions from this deck. Is that the, what's this called? The Page of Wands can be quite prickly sometimes. So again, you guys might feel very, I was gonna say standoffish, but that's coming from this Queen of Swords. I've just noticed as well, she's got a little helmet in here. In the clouds, hidden away, she's got this helmet. Again, this shelter. But even without the helmet, as she's taking it off, she's still carrying this sword. I mean, I don't want to get close to her. She might cut my head off. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's the energy here. Like, I don't really want to, you know, get close to you because you might cut my head off. So the only energy that's not giving me this closed offness is the Ace of Pentacles. But again, we have two people kind of talking to themselves, walking past, if this is you, walking past you, not really paying attention. So again, I'm not sure if this is just the circumstances, like for example, it's other people not paying attention to you despite this is what you want, or it's that you guys in general, your energy is just not really open right now. And that's not always a bad thing. Sometimes we just kind of need to be in that state of hermit mode. So I'll be interested to see what the clarifiers are telling us. So yeah, that is definitely an energy that I see for you guys towards the end of this year, or up to the end of this year, I should say. Again, another message I'm getting is that people aren't acknowledging or seeing your hard work that you're putting in. I do think as well, this is how you guys are feeling or perceiving it. It's that people are not acknowledging the work that you're putting in. Because with this Five of Pentacles, it kind of talks about someone feeling like they're in lack, but in actuality, they've got a roof over their head, they've got light, they've got something to sit on, they've got shelter, like that type of thing. Whereas on this side of the card, he's like, actually, he's actually outside in the cold. So whilst it's valid to feel this way, the perspective is what is contributing to the scarcity mindset. Again, with the Queen of Pentacles, it's like other people can't see how much it has taken me to build this for myself. Other people are not acknowledging all that I'm doing. Whether this is you have a business and you feel like it's just not getting the recognition that it deserves or that it needs to be getting to meet targets, or it's like you just feel like you're just not getting the words of affirmation that you need right now. Especially if you have kind of made a big change in your life, or you have, whether that's internal or external, you feel like no one's really noticing this. No one's paying attention to something about you. Some kind of skill that you have, or something that makes you different, or you. And I think as well, this is leading you to become maybe angry at others, like irritable, or just like, well, if they don't care, then I'm just gonna take myself away. Take myself out of the situation. It's like you're returning from the situation, feeling a bit unloved, feeling like you put your walls up. And the funny thing is, when I'm drawn to this Queen of Swords, her cloak is blue. Her cloak is filled with emotion. So it's like this Queen of Swords is filled with emotion, but you can't see that from the way her face looks, from the way her environment is telling me, from what her environment is telling me, from the armor that she's wearing. I can't see that she's hurting. And I think this is going for, again, helping you shift that perspective, as like maybe your friends or family or the people who you might need most can't actually see that you're hurting. Whereas you're taking it as if they don't care that I'm hurting. It doesn't actually have to be hurting, but they don't care that I'm struggling, or why can't they see that I'm struggling? But they actually aren't mind readers. They can't see because they don't know. You might be someone who's very empathetic and can always see what other people are going through and can always pick up on their subtle cues, but that's not a lot of people, unfortunately. Those of us who are like that have to deal with the fact that we have to tell others how we feel, otherwise we will not get the same energy that we give out. I feel like definitely a lot of protection energy here. Feeling a need to protect yourself. It'd be interesting to see what these tell us. Let's have it right here for this. I feel like the page of wands. That is too many cards as usual. Can I have the page of wands, please? The page of wands. There's a page of wands here for Amethyst. Come on. Right, Four of Wands came out there. Four of Wands. I feel like it's like, it's not completely upside down in reverse. It's not completely upright either. I'm going to leave it upright. Again, upright is giving me a feeling of like putting on a brave face and pretending that I'm enjoying myself. You guys might even be having a bit of a mental health episode in a way. I don't know whether that's the right way to say it, but I don't want to like obviously diagnose you, because that's not that would not be appropriate. But if you have dealt with this before, maybe you haven't, I would definitely say to go to a professional about how you're feeling. Especially if you feel like there's no reason for you to feel like, even if there is a reason, but your brain is telling you like, there's no reason for me to feel this way, why do I feel this way? Then I would definitely go search out like maybe a professional who can help you through this. Again, I do feel that guardedness, that you might not want to ask for help at this time. You might not want to open up. You might even just be guarded to do that, feeling guarded or overly vulnerable in doing so due to a fear of rejection. But if you guys can do that, I think it will really help you shift the mindset here. Help you see that it's really just a thing of perception opposed to reality, whatever reality is. Does reality even exist? Is there any objective reality? Okay, why is the Knight of Cups here? Ooh, Queen of Pentacles again, with the Three of Pentacles reversed. Lots of Pentacle energy for you. You guys might be earth signs, also maybe air signs, but I could see you having like an earth moon or something. I feel like earth signs are very much like, they kind of hold the perception that they need to be self-efficient, and to ask for help is like a form of weakness. Knight of Pentacles. Nice for Pentacles. I think it's a little bit harder to shuffle your cards because you are being so shielded as well. It's like, even to me, it's hard to tap into your energy. Again, you're only revealing to me what you want to reveal to me. Ooh. Gosh, come on. Have I got Pentacles, please? One. Right, so Two of Swords, Eight of Pentacles reversed. Again, you might feel like you're in a bit of a mindset of, I'm not doing enough, everything I am doing, it's not working. Very, very low, being very hard on yourself, being very critical of yourself. Again, we might have some earth signs in here, some Virgos, some Capricorns, and some Tauruses. But I feel like for Tauruses, so long as they are being productive or doing what they feel like they like, or how do I say this? I find with Tauruses, so long as they're less likely to do what they think other people think they should do, if that makes sense. I think they're a bit more what's the word? Not self-direct, but very stubborn, for example. Like, they're less likely to do what their parents or their friends think they should do. So they are usually doing something that they like to do or they love to do in general. So even if the work is hard or they're not being appreciated for it, I feel like for Tauruses, for the most part, from what I've witnessed anyway, is that they will still do it because that's what they like to do or they love to do. But for here, I kind of feel more so like a Virgo or Capricorn energy, where it's like I'm being very self-critical of myself. I might be doing something that maybe I feel like I have to do for like my family, or I have to do to get out of the circumstances that I'm in, so I can make enough money to get out of the circumstances that I'm in. Kind of overworking, not finding the right balance between work and play or relaxation. There's here with the Four of Wands, which looks like a very playful card. it's like when I look at this card, I get a headache. So it's, for me, it feels as if even when you guys are in playful situations, maybe you're out with friends or you're partying, your energy isn't there. You feel like you're elsewhere, or you feel like you're tired, or you just don't feel connected to the situation at present. So clarify the Ace of Pentacles, please, for those who chose Amethyst. Temperance in reverse. That's bringing, sorry. This card is literally what I'm talking about, that lack of balance. And we can see here we have the moon and the sun. The sun being that passion, that fire, and the moon being those emotions, telling us to slow down, telling us when to maybe pull back. So again, this thing that you want to build for yourself, whatever it is, maybe you've just started a new job and it's just kind of, the work hours are just not, they're just not it. They're just not it. And it's like finding that balance is something that you guys need to get back. You guys need to get back to finding the balance. Temperance is doing things in moderation. Not overworking, not over relaxing. Again, which I think Tauruses are quite good at. Like, they work extremely hard, but they also they relax extremely hard too. Even if you are a Taurus, I'm not necessarily saying like you're not going to relate to this pile, or you're not going to fit in this pile, or this isn't for you or anything like that. I'm just, the energy of what I feel, this is just what I'm feeling. You might be a Taurus and be in the energy of maybe a Capricorn or Virgo. And you might want to look at your progression, your chart progression. That can also help you see where you're at right now in terms of energetically, what you might be experiencing right now. Again, your moon sign is really standing out to me. You actually have the Ace of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck here. Clarify the Queen of Swords, please. Four of Pentacles, again, a lot of self-protection. Protecting, and the Four of Pentacles can kind of come up as a bit of scarcity. Like, I only have these 4 pentacles. No, I cannot give you 1 of them, 2 of them, or 3 of them, because I need all 4 of them. It's being very particular about where you are expending your energy, expending your finances, who you are engaging with. Just heard the word ruins, which I think is a type of divination. I don't know if that relates to anything in your guys' life, whether that has any relevancy to you. Maybe it's an ancestral thing, maybe for you guys, to use ruins. I'm not sure why that's come up, but that did come up. Thought I'd share it with you. Yeah, everything about this Four of Pentacles is screaming protection to me. It's self-protection. You guys might even feel like you're in a bit of a like a spiritual overload. Like, you know, when your crown or your third eye is too open, and you're just receiving too much downloads or too much information. For example, I can see on the Four of Pentacles her hair is wrapped, which can be a sign of someone who is very connected to like higher wisdoms and other realms, and sometimes people might wrap their hair to kind of shield them from that for a little bit, to give their human selves a break from everything that is coming in. So that might be a technique that you want to try, wrapping or covering your hair to stop you from receiving information. It doesn't even necessarily have to mean like specific downloads, like feeling very psychic or anything like that, but even if you are, again, quite Virgo, and you just kind of overanalyze and you pick up on little details, or you're just hypersensitive in that way, I think wrapping your hair can be a subtle but a good technique, and that might be something that you want to try. I think again as well, everything comes down to intention. So when you set intentions for things, it really does just carry an energy in a different way, just from doing from something very simple and something that seems maybe meaningless. Anyway, last but not least, let's clarify the Page of Pentacles, please. We don't want it. We don't want it. This piece of Pentacles. I've literally, that's so funny. As soon as I said those two chose Amethyst, I looked over there and then, I don't know why I share the whole process with you guys sometimes of how my brain's working. But anyway, full card, she's also carrying an Amethyst here. And Amethyst is literally a crystal, a very psychic crystal, something that kind of opens your third eye, opens that crown chakra to receive downloads and sorry, I got an itchy nose, receive information. Again, I've said this in pile number 1, I get an itchy nose sometimes when I'm channeling specific energies. Like I think it is when I'm channeling very like cyclically connected people. So I should listen to my own intuition. And you guys, I definitely, again, this might not even be you. I think you might just feel overwhelmed from, if you're not someone, I know, sorry, I'm like saying 500 different things right now. And the dog is barking. Okay. I know that when I went through my initial spiritual awakening, I thought I was going insane. I thought I was literally having a mental breakdown. So if that helps you guys in any single way, it does get better. It definitely feels extremely overwhelming at first because nothing is making sense and no one can relate, and you feel like you can't share it because you don't want to sound crazy, but also what you're seeing and what you're experiencing is totally valid and you can't deny it either. And it's like, okay, so what the hell do I do right now? How do I share this without being sent to being locked away, basically? So some of you guys might be experiencing that kind of awakening energy that is just kind of overwhelming and overpowering and leaves you feeling like, I don't know what is up and I don't know what is down anymore. So the Fool card here with the Page of Pentacles. I feel as if it is time for you guys to step away from any structures that you have built. I don't mean like, say if you've built a business or anything like that, being like, yeah, I'm quitting. I mean as if like the societal structures, the structures that, again, like I said, like, I don't know if this is real or this isn't, the things that you up till now maybe constructed in your mind and told yourself this is how life is, this is what this is, like your belief systems, and taking a step into the unknown, trusting that what you are experiencing and what you are feeling is real, even if this isn't about a spiritual awakening and it is about maybe just struggling mentally with maybe mental health issues. Acknowledging that what you're feeling and experiencing is valid and real, and giving yourself the time to work through that rather than trying to put your foot on the gas again and just keep going on, just keep going, even if that is what is usually natural for you to be able to push through these really difficult or confusing times. If that is something you've been doing, maybe now the lesson is like, now it's time to learn this lesson of you can't always do that. You can't always just push ahead and get through this and pretend that everything is okay. Sometimes you need some help. Sometimes you need to give yourself a break. Sometimes you need to just say, do you know what? I don't feel good today. Like literally just acknowledging it to yourself can be so powerful. So let's move on to some oracle card messages now. Okay, let's start off with the Moonology. Right. Ooh. Full moon, surrender to the divine. I don't think it could be any more clear for you guys, actually. Let's just shift this. And then we also have full moon in Sagittarius. Look at the bigger picture. So again, Sagittarius speaking about belief systems. Maybe it's that you've always felt connected to a certain faith, or you haven't felt connected to a certain faith, and now everything that you thought you knew isn't actually what is real. And this is how I feel. This is how I feel you guys are like. Like, I just need my brain to be quiet for a second. And I really do sympathize with you guys, because I have been there. I have been there. So literally 2 cards that speak of someone who might be going through a spiritual awakening. And maybe this video is literally just confirmation for you guys. It can be a breath of fresh air to be like, do you know what? Yes, this is valid. This is real. Whatever you are going through right now, whatever you're experiencing, it's real. And like I said, what is reality? Is reality whatever is real to us? Or is it real to whatever society tells us is real? I'm not trying to get all philosophical here, but to be honest, I think reality is... Oh, we gotta change the battery. All right, that stopped me from going off into a massive tangent about what reality is. But yeah, surrender to the divine. Literally, surrendering is just letting go, releasing, letting what is to be what it is. For example, again, like just accepting where you are right now, accepting how you're feeling is just as powerful as just holds a lot of power to just give yourself the acknowledgement of what you are feeling or experiencing. And also looking at the bigger picture. What is this showing me? What am I learning from this? And if that might be too overwhelming, those questions for you right now, just let it be what it is right now. And then as you move through this, things will start to become more clear. That is exactly what happened to me. Is that at the beginning I was like, what the is going on right now? I can't make sense of this. It still happens to me, and I'm like, I can't make sense of this. And then it gets to like one day and I just have this kind of awareness come to me, or this, again, bigger picture message come to me, and I'm like, ah, right, it all makes sense now. And I feel like it's just happened so much now that I've got to a point where whenever I'm in it, I just let myself be in it. I just will maybe journal how I'm feeling, or write down what I'm feeling as I kind of process different emotions or experiences that are happening. And sometimes they mean something big, and sometimes they mean nothing at all right now, and that's completely fine as well. Right, wisdom of the oracle messages. Yes, we have yin again, message about flowing with what is. See this peacefulness here. Yin is also that feminine energy, and again, that you guys might be so used to masculine, being in a masculine energy of action, of drive, of passion, of going. Not saying passion and those things aren't feminine, but feminine can reside in the realms of like trusting and having faith and sitting back and allowing things to come to them, opposed to trying to, again, where we saw here, and I said, like, I feel like you guys are trying to get attention, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but I just see, I'm gonna give you the example that I see here. Like, I see like a street performer who is doing every single trick that they have to try and get someone to pay attention to them, and, you know, give them a tip or give them a clap or something like that. But actually, it's like on the other side of them is this person who just sits there. Is that statue that is like painted, and you don't realize it's just you think it's a statue, but actually it's a person, and all it does is it just moves suddenly. And it's like everyone is paying attention to that guy and giving him claps and giving him money, or that woman, whatever they are, and giving them claps and giving them money, but you're over there and you're doing all the tricks in the book. So I hope you guys understand the difference between, like, the statue would be like the feminine and the masculine would be the juggler. Let's say that. I hope that makes sense. And then we also have no place like home. I think it's interesting in this, I'm very drawn to the imagery right now in terms of how the home is all the way up in the sky, away from everyone else, isolated almost, and it's in this kind of purple hue. It's literally centered right between this purple and this blue, which this purple and violet colors are like the third eye and the crown chakras. And you even see how the home is illuminated, it's open, the lights are on. And I think this is literal like a representation of what is happening to you right now. It's like these chakras are on, they're open. They've been activated by something, I have no idea what, but they have been activated for you guys. So the essential meanings of yin is the feminine principle of receptivity, letting someone else make the first move, gathering information and taking in cues, the art of conscious allowing. Yeah, it's like, again, surrendering is an active thing, because whilst you're doing nothing, you are actively allowing the emotions to pass. You are actively allowing the experiences to happen without judgment. And that is it can be quite a tiresome process, especially if that's not how a lot of us are wired to do. So I'm drawn to the oracle message, that I will read that for you. This is a time of calculated receptivity, as you gracefully await what is coming to you, ready to accept it when it appears. Yin does not involve frozen dreams or even resting, but rather consciously allowing things to flow to you, poised to receive the bounty that will be made available to you. It implies sensitivity as you alertly study the actions of others and contemplate how they will affect you and yours. Remember, you must make space for miracles to appear. Be the shaped, not the shaper, and you'll see how quickly your dreams manifest. Yeah, it's almost like you're pushing too hard right now. That is something that you're going to be, I think this whole kind of journey, like, I don't think from me telling you this that you're instantly going to be able to get into this yin energy necessarily, because I know I watch readings and I'm like, that sounds like a lot of work, I'm not going to do that right now. Or even if I have the knowledge, it takes me a while to know how to properly implement that knowledge. And I think this will kind of be the journey that you're going on for the last quarter of the year, is learning how to step into the feminine, learning how to implement this feminine energy into your life. With no place like home, we have the meaning of authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. So I'm going to read the protection message because it did come out in reverse, this card. There are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice. Human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty, for what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. Remember, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it feels uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar, and you will attract and be drawn to the very things you don't want anymore. This time will not be different unless you do something different. Yeah, I feel like this is why I love this deck, because the guidebook articulates things in ways that I sometimes struggle. My Pisces Mercury struggles to articulate certain things because I'm very much for a clairsentient person who just feels what they're feeling, and that's how I get messages. So it's like hard for me to sometimes translate the feeling into a message that might make sense for some of you guys. So next up we have romance oracle cards. Wow. So we have release your ex, the time has come to clear your energy. I keep forgetting to say, but when it comes to these cards, I'm not necessarily meaning like, the intention isn't to necessarily talk about a specific ex, or this is like I'll explain it in a sec, hold on. And then we also have past life relationship. You have known each other before. Right, so with release your ex, I just feel like it's a message for you guys to clear out any energies, clear out past people and experiences that maybe you're still holding on to, maybe that keep pulling you backwards or pulling you back to an expression of yourself that isn't actually authentic for you guys. Just letting things go that need to be let go, whether this is just you holding on to trying to control your emotions or trying to control your external conditions. And then we also have past life relationship. You may have known each other before, so maybe there's someone significant in your life who you feel very drawn to, which is a past life connection. And maybe that's what's actually triggered this, because I think for a lot of us, people are what have triggered our awakenings. So maybe that might be significant for you guys in particular. Maybe you don't even believe in past life relationships, or these kind of concepts, or are something that is new to you, something that you're just starting to get into, and you're like, what the hell is that? Like soulmate, maybe you never really believed in soulmates, or you did, but you didn't think about soulmates as someone that through lifetimes you've always been connected to. Not saying that has to be the absolute truth or objective truth or anything, but maybe you are changing your mindset to meet a new belief system that is more aligned with you right now, more aligned with the experiences that you've had. I don't know why I'm putting this away, but let's go on to your, this is your guidance message for how to navigate the end of the year, just to help you through it. If there's anything that you take away from this reading, it should be this. So this one says, convince yourself, not others, which I think really relates to you guys. Convince yourself, not others. The need to clarify, explain, or justify oneself in personal relationships is always self-serving. What's important is knowing the truth about why you felt the need, because it often points to insecurities that could be dealt with in more effective ways. So yeah, again, if you are shifting, if you are experiencing that, it's like you don't need to, and again, you might not be able to feel very connected to people around you right now, because you're like, well, they wouldn't understand what I'm experiencing right now, and I don't even know what I'm experiencing right now. So taking the time to convince yourself, taking the time to talk to yourself and say it's valid how you're feeling, and to validate your own feelings, and to not tell yourself that what you're feeling isn't real or it doesn't mean anything. That is more important than sharing what you're experiencing with others, or trying to convince others of why you're just not in the mood to come out right now, or why you're just not in the mood to do whatever it is that you usually would do, or what they might be wanting you to do. Rather than trying to over explain yourself to every other person, take the time to talk to yourself about what you're experiencing and to validate that. So option number 2. Thank you for coming to this reading. If you enjoyed it and it resonated with you, please give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye. Hi, option number 3. Those of you who chose this, I always drop this crystal, but the Citrine, welcome to your reading. As usual, we'll be starting off with this tarot card, which I've already pulled for you guys, and then we will pull the clarifying card a little bit later on. The sun is slowly going down. It's getting a bit dark, so hopefully the lighting will be okay throughout this reading, but that's fine. I see a lot going on for you here. There's it's not necessarily confusion. It feels like a choice or a decision, like being pulled between two different things. Maybe Maybe it's even like a relationship and work or something like that. Maybe trying to find a balance between the two, or it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, but just your relationships in general, your friends, your family, trying to find the balance between that and the work that you're doing. Yeah, it's like something hasn't quite been illuminated to you. It's like the potential is there, or the vision might be there, but the how would I say it, it's not set in stone. Like, for example, the desire is there, but the foundation hasn't been built yet, or it's not certain that this thing will work out long term. There's definitely a message here of light and dark, or not like good or bad, but just like tapping into a desire that is more maybe ego based, more shadow side based, and then a desire that is maybe more so your higher self or a soul's desire even. Because both of these cards, the Devil and the I was about to call it the Charlotte, the Chariot that you have here, wait for them to get in focus, you can see one of the figures is like this kind of white or silver color, and the other one's like this dark color. But I also feel as if the Chariot for me, which is like a sense of direction, this kind of darker horse or whatever it is kind of looking down, like it might be a bit ashamed, or it might not be as confident in its direction as this kind of white silver higher self or soul's decision or direction. And I'm getting the imagery of the Saturn card in the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, which is the card that says why on it. And one of the messages in the card is like, of the card, is that thinking about why you want something that you want, or why you're making a certain decision. Is it because it's feeding this kind of like really being honest about the truth behind it? For example, is it feeding your ego? Is it because you want a certain level of recognition or fame? Is it because you want to impress someone or appease a family member? Or is it because it's actually something you're passionate about, something that is feeding your soul, something that really aligns with your higher good? So that might be something that you're kind of playing, something that you are experiencing or dabbling, I don't know what the right word is, not dabbling with, but something like you're experiencing during this last quarter of the year, guiding yourself through this decision of what is going to be best for you and why you're going with the choice that you're making. I'm very drawn to the fact that this Devil person is like got this kind of green reptile thing growing onto his skin, which I've never noticed before. But it's like green in terms of the, sorry if I keep itching my nose, it's a little bit itchy. Green in terms of like a spiritual concept can sometimes represent the heart chakra, which is, you know, a very maybe positive thing, very much so being in alignment with things, especially if you think about following your heart for your decision. But then green in the more material realm can, or in our society, what I mean is really in our society, is like it can represent like money or greed or something like that. It has more negative connotations than in the spiritual realm. So I think that again, that kind of ties into the idea of why you want what you want, why are you going with the decision, and what is guiding that choice, the choices that you are making. even if it's not just one big grand decision, but just the choices that you're making on a daily basis in general. Especially because you have the Seven of Cups here, which kind of represents the decision, but feeling a bit confused of what's the best thing to choose. And that kind of rhymed. And in this card, they kind of have like this mossy, foggy atmosphere going on. So it's like, and his eyes are, his eyes are like glazed over. It's like you can't really see clearly. Sorry, I don't know if this is going to focus that close up, but it's like his eyes are glazed over and he can't really see the options that are before him. So it's very likely he might choose something that isn't really right for him, or that is full of poison rather than water, that will hinder him rather than help him. I do feel like you're going to be more inclined to go with whatever decision is in line with your heart though, but I just feel that the process to getting there isn't going to be easy, isn't necessarily going to be like, okay, do you know what, I'm gonna go with what my heart says, because that's just what I do always. But it might be a bit of a tug of war between okay, well, this is what I really want and desire, but I also know that I need to pay my bills, and that this might not actually make me that much money, and my friends don't really like that thing, or they might judge me for it. Like that type of push and pull between the two might be going on here. So let's get some clarifiers out for you all. Right, so let's get some clarifiers please for those using Citrine. So those choosing the Two of, I'm sorry, Citrine, please. Why is it Two of Cups here? Please clarify this Two of Cups card here, please. Again, the Two of Cups is like a blending of these energies together. The message isn't to, you know how people say you shouldn't be driven by your ego, which is 100% true, but also your ego has a place in the human experience. It exists because it is telling you something, or that it has a, for example, it's not something that you want to cut out. Like it's not a cancer that you want to cut out. It is like a malign, is that the word, or malign? Which one is it? It's like a tumor that doesn't grow into a that we don't want to grow into a cancer. So it's always going to be there, but it might not actually cause any harm. It might just, give us a little bit of pain here and there, and tell us that we need to maybe readjust, or that there's something that we need to consider here. So that's what I kind of get from this Two of Cups message here, is like a blending of two energies, a blending of the shadow and the light together, not just a eradication of one over the other. Okay, I'll talk to the Two of Cups, please. So we have the Tower card here. Interesting. Instantly I got the message of a loss or disruption of illusions. Well, your cards are very dark. I've just realized that. You literally have like, let me see if I can, there we go. Your cards are very dark right now. Whereas you have on the other side of this, because this is the vice versa tarot, you have these very bright coloured. Even here you have, like on the Devil card, you can see the opening of this cave. So you guys might find yourself in a lot of shadow energy towards the last quarter of this year. But also finding that within the dark there is light. Even in this Eight of Cups card, can you see this dark shadow like kind of coming into the picture here? kind of closing in. See the corners of this card? The funny thing is she's walking towards this bright sun in the background. The sun, she's walking towards this, a way out of the darkness. Clarify the Eight of Pentacles here. What is this now? Two of Cups again. Clarify the Ace of Cups, please. Please draw many cards. The Ace of Cups, please. Oh my gosh, okay. So that was a Strength card, but we also do have the Knight of Wands. I see a lot of passion here. Being driven by this passion. Also strength in your decision, strength in what you see, what you feel to be true. For example, even if there are illusions, even if you're not certain of what you're feeling is correct, whether this comes to a pursuit in career, whether this comes to a love interest, I feel like you're going to be trusting what you feel. Trusting the joy that you feel about certain thing. Chariot, clarify Chariot card, please. So again, another Wands card. We've got the Knight of Wands now with that lion in the background, that strength of character, that self-assurance and passion. Being decisive in your decision making. So, Three of Wands reversed, Eight of Swords reversed. And last but not least, please clarify the Page of Wands. That's the High Priestess. I'll just take all of them because it's actually taking a bit long to shuffle all of these. So, Six of Pentacles, High Priestess, and the King of Pentacles coming out here for you. Again, not making decisions out of greed, out of what you can gain from them. Kind of ignoring the, whoa, it's gone bright. Kind of ignoring the financial aspect of what this decision could be, but really tuning into what your intuition is telling you, what really aligns for you. Again, High Priestess can be that kind of hidden knowledge, things that we might not be able to see straight away or understand straight away, but with time we can kind of make sense of. With the right consultants we can kind of be let, knowledge that we can be let into. Again, not allowing yourself, not allowing you to hold your, not holding yourself back from making a decision either, from being decisive. I've actually just noticed in the Devil card that both the characters that are kind of chained down here, let's just wait till we get a bit of focus on this. They're wearing each other's mask in a way, like this one's wearing a white mask and this one's wearing a black mask. So again, it's like a blending of both, setting them both free as well, allowing them to become what they need to be. And it's an acceptance of your shadow, an acceptance of your ego, or the things that you might not want to straight away reveal about yourself. It still has strength. By acknowledging the things that we might not love about ourselves, we can start to have control over those things, rather than allowing them to control us. Again, with this Three of Pentacles, I actually see that chakra message that I spoke of with the Devil card, of how green can represent the heart. It's like creating a idea, a perspective that aligns with a more positive view, that aligns with an abundance mindset, opposed to something that is self-limiting, something that holds you back, something that says that this part of me shouldn't be shown, or this part of me needs to be ignored, or I don't like this part of me. It's like, how can I shift this part of me into something that helps empower me or helps me along my journey? Like, for example, a silly example could be like, I really hate that I talk over people, or something like that. It's like, okay, well, now I know that I talk over people, I can kind of stop myself from doing it. Now I'm aware of it, I can kind of stop myself from doing it. But even though I don't like that I talk over people, talking over people means that I actually have a strong opinion or have a lot to say about a subject. And it's quite nice that I can say a lot about a certain subject, or that I have certain opinions about things. It means that I'm self-efficient. It means that I'm strong-minded. It means that I might make a great debater or something like that. Like, do you see what I mean? Where I've kind of taken something that might be more of a shadowy aspect and transformed it into something that is empowering, that says positive things about yourself. I hope that kind of makes sense. So working through certain aspects of yourself that maybe originally might be expressed in ways that aren't the best, and we kind of take them to help you become an even better version of yourself, an even more rounded version of yourself, and fuller. So let's move on to these oracle messages. First of all, starting off with Moonology, we have faith in your dreams. I'm not surprised to see this here at all. And then we also have expect powerful change, which I do feel like that came as well from the Tower card, which I didn't really expand on a message on that Tower card. But if you are someone who maybe has gone with ego, and maybe your people that you surround yourself so far have always followed their ego-based desires as well, it's like, by telling yourself that you're going to trust how you feel, trust your soul's desires instead this time, it is going to change a lot around you. Those foundations that maybe were built on ego wouldn't be that stable right now. So it's very likely that those type of things are going to start breaking down and drifting away, and you're going to have to start kind of sifting through this rubble of the structures that you've built for yourself, and decide what areas you want to keep, what areas you want to grow and build upon and nurture. And then also having faith in your dreams, yes, staying committed to what you believe. I see that being a theme for you during this last quarter of the year. We have chaos and conflict. This one came out in reverse. So this is exactly how I felt when I first looked at your spread. Again, I think I said like there's just a lot going on here, and that's exactly how I felt, is that there's just a lot that you're dealing with, a lot that you kind of have to decipher between and make sense of. So because I've been reading the messages for all the other piles, I think I'll do it for this one as well. So the essential meaning for this card is disarray, being at a cross purpose with another, the tension of opposites, the value of chaos before order. So funny enough, I'm drawn to this relationship message, so I will read that. We have stubbornness is keeping you in a state of opposition. The incessant need to be right will only serve to prolong the conflict that deep down you want to be resolved. This is an opportune moment to learn about your values, your sense of self, what's really important to you. Some things are non-negotiable. If that's true, it's not always necessary to fight. Can you find a way through the stormy emotions to higher ground? Soon the air will clear and you will be in a much better place than before. The storm will have passed, blazing a path for a new growth in its wake. Things can become electric and enlightened, always better than before, if you use this time constructively. Yeah, that storm message is really taking me to that 7 of Cups, where you kind of see like this mistiness, this stormy atmosphere. It's like this will pass, this confusion will pass and allow you to see things clearly. And that's maybe why I see this shift from a kind of illusion mindset or view to a more directness with the Chariot here. Finally being able to make that decision. Finally being able to know what is honest and true for you. Right, romance oracle cards are healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. No, you do not need to forgive your parents, just saying. But it's kind of like letting go those. Again, I think this is really referring to family structures, things that our family's belief systems, things that we grew up thinking were true or thinking were the right thing to do, which may have been, again, being driven on ego-based desires, but actually figuring out that doesn't really work for me. That's not who I am. That's not who I am at my core, or my soul is. So by healing and working through those kind of triggers and, again, shadow aspects that maybe are generational, we can start to be a better version of ourselves. And then also we have unrequited love. There's not enough chemistry or attraction to keep this relationship going. I think this is relating to anything that just isn't working for you right now. If you are trying to push something and it's just not working, maybe it's time to let it go. Maybe it's because it's not aligning with, again, your soul's desires, with what you truly want. Think about why you want this thing and what this thing represents for you. And once you get to that point when you figure that out, think, do I really want this thing? Is this actually something I desire, or do I desire the thing that that this thing represents for me? So for an example, wanting to work in, say you want to work in Starbucks opposed to working in I don't know, what is it? You want to work in Starbucks, but you don't want to work in McDonald's. Okay, there we go. So say you want to work in Starbucks, but you don't want to work in McDonald's. Think about why it is that you want to work in Starbucks. Is it because you truly want to expand on your barista skills? Or is it because you think someone seeing you work in McDonald's relates to your self-worth, relates to being lower than or less than? And if that is so, even though it might be easier to get a job in McDonald's, and then, where am I going with this? So it's like, whilst you might have applied to like 3 Starbucks by now and you're still not getting the job, but there are like so many places going at McDonald's. It's like, why not just apply for McDonald's? I hope that makes sense. It made sense to me eventually. Okay. And last but not least, let's get this guidance message. Every single time I get to this card, I get a mind fart. Anyway, guidance message for you to help you navigate the end of this chapter, the end of this quarter of the year. So yours is those you love you. If there's anything you should take away from this reading, it is this message: those you love you. So to be beautiful in the eyes of another, simply forget they are watching. I love how relevant these cards are today. They're just hitting the nail on the head. So again, ignoring what everyone else's expectations for you are and their perception. Again, the Starbucks versus McDonald's narrative. Are you not applying to McDonald's because you are thinking about what everyone else is doing? Because at the end of the day, your friends who are your real friends will love you anyway. Your family who are nice will love you anyway. So if that's true, if that's a fact, then it doesn't matter what you do as long as you aren't hurting anyone, as long as you're not being a bad person or a shitty person. But it doesn't matter what you do, because the fact that these people would love you anyway still remains. So guys, that is the end of this reading. If you enjoyed it and it resonated with you, please comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you all in my next one. Bye! Hi there, option number 4. Welcome to your reading. Those of you who chose this Aragonite here, welcome to your reading. So what was I going to say? Right, so I'm starting off with tarot cards as usual, and then we will pull the clarifying cards together in a little bit. So what to expect for the last quarter of this year? I just had the word change. So change. Change. I think there might be times of like intensity and then quiet, and then intensity and then quiet. Like maybe sudden things are happening around you, lots of shifting, lots of changing, and then you kind of get a break from it and there's like a breath of fresh air and you can just take in what has just happened to you or what stuff has just been going on. Some of you guys might also be moving house or moving situations, living situations might be changing up as well. There's a lot of solitude here. There's a lot of separation from others, but you might have like a pet or something like that that kind of is like your support animal or kind of keeps you company in this time. Maybe you guys might be getting a pet as well. But like all of these images here, it's like they're all separate from people. Even in this 9 of Pentacles card, which has this guy in this tower, it's like you can't actually get to them. But she still has a bird with her. Like there's animal here with them. So it's like even though you might feel isolated from people or feel a separation from people, there's still something that is providing you comfort or reassurance or some kind of social release in a way. And there's something that is like separate from, hidden from. I don't know what this is. I don't know if you are leaving something behind as well. This might be, again, it could be leaving a home, but also maybe leaving a job behind. Maybe you're moving to a different country or something like that, where you have to leave a whole group of people behind and have to kind of restart on your own. For example, on this 4 of Cups card, you can see this in the background. There's like a ship going. Sorry, let's get this in focus. Okay, there we go. So in this 4 of Cup cards, you can see this ship leaving in the background, and you can see all these 4 cups that have kind of just been left behind on this sand here. Again, we've got cups, we've got pentacles, we've got swords. So there is a real kind of mixture here. There's nothing that you're necessarily going to be experiencing more than the other. I feel like you're just going to be experiencing everything. It's like everything needs to be involved here in order to get where you want to go. Again, with the example of moving, which I'm sorry if that's not really on the cards right now, but say for example of moving, like emotionally you are tied to a place and you have to leave it. Logically you have to work out the logistics of where you're going and how you're going to get there and how you're going to move all your stuff there, signing the lease and all those different things. Pentacles wise, you're going to have to think about how much money you're going to spend, the finances involved, and then Wands wise, also actually the active part of moving all your things into that place. So again, it's like everything is blended here. Everything is needed for you to activate this plan properly. With the Fool card here, there is a sense of freedom coming from this, and a sense of a new beginning, a new opportunity. But it doesn't feel, internally you feel like this is for you or this was right for you, but it's not overwhelmingly a positive feeling. Like, yes, I want to get away from here, I want to leave. I'm going to have the example of moving, apologies, but say you want to move to a different country, it's because you've always felt drawn to that country, or that's always been a dream of yours. But you're not overwhelmingly like, yes, I want to leave my family behind, or I want to leave all these people behind, because you do have love for them. Again, with this Three of Cup cards, which is a card of kind of like celebration and coming together with others, you kind of have this image on this side of being lonely, of being separate from. For example, on this side of the card, you see these two other women here with her celebrating along with her. And it's like, yes, whilst my cup is full, whilst I am happy in some ways, I also know that this is an emotional time for me, or I'm going to need to leave people behind, or leave certain experiences or situations behind. Like, I'm grateful for everything that I'm being able to experience now, and the decision that I'm able to make, but it's not been an easy one. You might even be hiding the pain of this decision, how much it is hurting you, or this change, I should say, how much it is affecting you. I'm going to put some clarifiers, see what else we can get. So we have the Devil card reversed. Again, which is about releasing attachments to things that might be holding you back. Oops. How about the Temperance here, please? Let's choose the Aragonite crystal. Nice Temperance card here. Two of Cups. This has come out in a lot of the readings today. We've got the Two of Cups reversed. Over the Eight of Wands here, please. Ooh. We have the Empress reversed. We've got a lot of reversals, and the Five of Cups reversed as well. Over the Two of Swords, please. We've got the Eight of Wands now again, which we've already got the Eight of Wands in your original spread over here. Again, it feels like to make this decision or make this change, shift, whatever it is, which is a bit unclear to me right now, but whatever it is, to make it, it takes a lot of energy. It also just isn't easy to do. For example, on this side of this Eight of Wands card, which I think I called it a swords before, sorry, Eight of Wands, it's like this blue sky, it's very chilled. And to get these through these swords, through these wands would be very easy. Whereas on the side that it's come out for you guys, there is like this lightning, and this Pegasus or whatever is trying to navigate between this stormy atmosphere. It's also interesting on this side, it almost looks like the leaves are dying. The leaves of this are dying. Whereas on the other side, it looks like they're growing. And it's going into an even bigger forest and even more growth down here with all this green. Over the full card for please, for option number 4. Those who chose to have this full card. So Nine of Pentacles again, but this time in reverse, and the Page of Wands reversed as well. This could even be something like having to be self-efficient for the first time. Like, again, moving into your first home, and maybe you've always lived with parents or roommates, and this is the first time that you're going to be alone. How about the Four of Cups? Three of Cups reversed again. We've got a lot of repeating cards for you guys. The message is definitely just repeating for us. And clarify the Three of Cups as well, please. And the Page of Cups. So yeah, a lot of emotion here. A lot of love here. I'm just drawn to this imagery here on this Page of Cups. this little heart down here with little colors inside of it, which usually I'm drawn to this image up here, but this isn't even giving my attention. Like, I'm just want to look at this little heart down here. So there's a lot of love here. This might even be like separating from a partner. Maybe you're experiencing a divorce, a breakup, something like that. Obviously, if that's not with tarot, honestly, you will know if a reading is going to resonate with you, because the energy is already something that you're experiencing in some kind of way. So don't ever take something that someone says, like a tarot reader says, and be like, okay, well, that's fact, that's true, that's going to happen. But it's just the energy of like, there's a change here, there's a shift, but it's not something that you might want. It's not even that you don't want it, it's like you know that it needs to happen, or that it's time for it, but you're not 100% ready for it either. This could even be maybe going to university or something like that, where you are stepping away from what you've always known into something new. Going to a new school, anything that's new, but also a little bit scary to start. For some of you guys, you might be leaving a pet behind as well, something that you love. You can't bring it with you. There's Five of Cups also talks about loss and grief. So again, leaving behind something. The Empress reversed. The Empress, letting something die, letting something come to an end. A cycle to be completed. Doesn't have to be physical death, but like a completion of something. Oh, sorry. I kind of want to look at your oracle cards, which is a bit sooner than I have in the other piles. So I will try to get as much information still as possible, but I feel like your message is very repetitive. So I want to see what the oracle cards have to tell us. So let's start with these moonologies. Right, that makes a lot of sense. So we have the Void of Course Moon. Nothing will come of this situation. And then we also have Full Moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. So this definitely makes a lot of sense for any examples of divorce, of leaving a home, of making a change that might be unwanted or you don't feel 100% prepared for, but you know as it comes, this cycle is ending, you know in your heart that it is time to move on from this. Nothing will come of this situation. Again, there's nothing else to gain here. There's nothing else, even if it is moving to a different part of the world or a different place in your country, it's like where I am right now, there's nothing else I can gain from this. Even if it's a job, maybe you really like your co-workers. I mean, can't relate, but maybe you just really like your co-workers, and that's something that's really sad for you guys, to leave your work life, your work, what's it called, your job. So with Capricorn energy as well, there's a lot of karma, which probably means that you've had to deal with a lot of lessons. It's been a tough cycle. It's been something that might have been going on for a little bit of a while, and you've been back and forth about it. But eventually, again, like we have the Two of Swords here, which I didn't really talk about, but the Two of Swords is a decision. And it's kind of almost not making a decision for a little while as well. And maybe you've been stuck in this bit of this limbo for a while, where you just haven't had the capacity to make the decision at this moment in time. But it's come now to a point where in this last quarter of the year that you will be coming to this decision, and the shift will be made. The change will be happening. Sorry, it's gone a bit dark again. I'm not sure. Right, let's move on to these Wisdom of the Oracle cards. So we have Truth Be Told, and we also have By the Book. They're both in reverse, but I'll show you them upright actually. Truth Be Told and By the Book. Oops. So because I've read from the book for the other piles, I'll do it for you guys as well. So The essential meanings for truth be told are honesty, accepting things at face value, coming out of denial, the willingness to be transparent, clarity of communication. Definitely see the coming out denial being very relevant for you guys here. So, the protection message reads, where are you being dishonest with yourself or others? If you are unhappy in any area of your life, look for signs of denial. This can also pertain to others being misleading, withholding, or acting from hidden agendas. Now is the time to say no to dishonesty in all forms. Ask for the truth, even if you don't like what you hear. Acknowledging it will be key to a beautiful new future, where you no longer labor under the heavy burdens that deceit and denial impose on you. Set yourself free. Nothing less than truth is required now. 100% being honest with yourself, being honest with others, not being afraid to hurt their feelings. Sorry, I need a drink really badly. Not speaking up to making a change because you're afraid of hurting that person's feelings or what they might think, how they might react, because this is your life, and the longer you hold yourself back, the longer you will go without living it to the fullest. So by the book, we have abiding by social rules, conformity, respecting cultural or family customs, and universal laws. Right. Protection message. Now is the time for a real change in consciousness, as you are incited to revolt. Challenge the structures that are limiting authentic progress. It is not enough to rebel in small ways. This is a call to revolution. Focus on what you really want to achieve, regardless of whether it feels so far outside the box that the established order may reject it. Genius, invention, and transformation are rarely comfortable and less likely to be accepted by the mainstream. It may be time for you to say no to the way of your group, take a stand, or make real changes. It could be that the structure of your inner world is alerting you to the need for a complete overhaul. This is a time for transformation, so let go of the fear of change. Your intuition will lead you through the darkness. There is no turning back now. Trust the light will dawn. Epiphanies will surely lead to miracles. So I feel like a lot of you guys might be in the stage of your inner world alerting you for the need for a complete overhaul, the need for change to occur in your life. Like things just aren't feeling right, aren't fitting anymore, not feeling as satisfied as you were previously. So some of you guys might be, if you are feeling that, then through this last quarter of the year, you might be working through those emotions and finally coming to a decision that will incite this full change in your external world as well as your internal world. Okay, romance oracle cards, we have let go of control issues, allow this situation to unfold naturally. And then we also have playfulness, to recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So playfulness and let go of control issues. So even though you are going through this, trying to find joy in the little things, trying to find joy in your life still, I think in particular, finding and leaning into what actually makes you feel alive, what makes you feel happy, what energizes you. If that isn't hanging out with the people maybe you used to, maybe you don't want to do that anymore. Maybe you feel particularly energized by the idea of riding a bike or going for a run, or I don't even know why I said those things, but I don't know, painting or anything, literally anything, using those tools to help you lean into the things and start trusting your intuition, because sometimes those things are just intuitive nudges and it's exactly what we need for our soul or our life, in our life right now. And then let go of control issues. Yeah, just learn things to unfold naturally, not getting too caught up in, will I make the wrong decision, is this right for me, what am I doing it wrong, why am I feeling like this, why can't I just go back to normal, which has been a bit of a theme in these readings so far. But yeah, just kind of surrendering to whatever is happening right now and letting it be what it will be, because at the end of it, at the end of this cycle, things will kind of make sense. So you'll see the bigger picture of everything. So last but not least, let's move on to some guidance. If there's anything you should take this reading, I would say this is it. And for you guys, it is love is the reason. Each person in your life is there for a reason, and that reason always has something to do with love. And it says, like me, the universe. So yeah, this for me, I'm seeing the example of maybe not connecting well with family members or friends anymore, and you're like, why are these my family members, why are these my friends right now? And it's like, every single person that's in your life is there for some kind of reason, whether it be to help you realize that you need to make better boundaries, whether it is that you realize that this town or city that you're in right now isn't for you anymore. It's helping you realize how to be more authentically you, how to exist in an energy of love on a daily basis. So guys, it's gone extremely dark, so I apologize for that. The sun did not end up coming back out anymore. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if it resonated, please comment down below, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.